Award season is going to be a Dunkirk buffet. Christopher Nolan is the last of the big Hollywood directors who make films that absolutely have to be seen in the theater. He is a master of the spectacle of experience, with his striking hard vistas and bombastic oral. Well, it's nearly audio assault, but his movies are such that you have to wonder if his true brilliance is in choosing the right editor, cinematographer, and sound engineer. But regardless, the signature on the finished canvas is his, and it is definitely art. Dunkirk is a 2017 war film about World War II's Dunkirk evacuation, in which Great Britain had to send a civilian fleet to retrieve the bulk of its army that was stranded in France. It's a war film in the vein of something like The Longest Day, with its central character being the circumstance, and the engagement coming from your general empathy for the soldiers who are in a battlescape made so aesthetically large by Nolan's style that the viewer feels involved in it too. Nolan's palette here is clinical, but not detached. Most of the movie is given the cold hard look of a blue filter combined with geometric vistas framed with cues of men to the horizon and long stark shoreline. When Nolan wants to create a human moment, the filter goes red and the shot gets tight with deep shadows, culminating in a climax of breaking sunlight and warm amber vistas. Because the film's focus is circumstance, most of the performances are small, featuring Brits giving their all for king and country with the stiffest of stiff upper lips as they do their damn job, or just quietly try to survive. Tom Hardy's thread is the perfect example. He's the star of the sea story of the film, but as an actor in a cockpit with a flight helmet covering his face and very few lines, he doesn't really have much to do. However, very few other actors have the quiet gravity to pull it off, acting with his eyes and his stiff upper lip. Even the bigger performances in Dunkirk are not so big as to break Nolan's tapestry. But perhaps Clockworks are a better analogy, as Dunkirk features 3 stories on 3 different timelines that move freely around those timelines and converge as the film reaches its climax. This tool serves to keep the viewer engaged in what is functionally a plotless film. This is a thing that happened, along with over 2 hours of a single cinematic tone in the form of harrowing metronomic tension, would become immediately tedious in the hands of a lesser director, but Nolan uses his intricate clockworks to keep the viewer engaged most of the way through the experience. I have to admit that there was a moment towards the end of the movie that I lost in the thread of what was happening, but I felt like it didn't matter because Dunkirk is more an exercise in wonderful virtuosic presentation than it is anything else. As a reviewer, I don't have a grading scale, but as a master class in the art of cinema, I give Dunkirk my highest recommendation. My handle is Jonathan Blade.